Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patsun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/relationship advice, where OP's girlfriend was having an affair with a married man. Yikes. Let's begin. 1 month post D-Day update and a thank you to Reddit, posted by Reddit user ThrowRA2125.
My girlfriend and I have been together for 6 years. We have an incredibly close bond and relationship, and trust was the biggest thing we had. We've gone through college together and so many personal growth periods. She recently told me that she has developed feelings for a coworker. She says the feelings started a few months ago, and they each began texting each other about the issues they're having in their relationships. I guess this brought them closer and working together made them bond. They're both veterinary technicians, and he is married with a 2-month-old child. Apparently, he made the first move to tell her that he cares for her and that he has feelings for her. She says she said she felt the same, but loved me and wanted to be with me. They both agreed to tell their significant others to try and better their relationships. Although I am being told this to better my relationship, I feel completely betrayed and feel empty inside. I don't know if I can trust her ever again, and it makes me question everything about our future. She has pleaded her case and says she knows what she did is wrong and wants to work it out via couples therapy. She says she loves me but was confused and felt unloved and pushed away from me. Despite the fact we see each other every night and have an immensely close relationship, I genuinely don't know how to react, as I feel immense love and anger. This is my first relationship, and I can't believe the person I've spent 6 years with was willing to hurt me intentionally. TLDR. My girlfriend and her married co-worker agreed they both have feelings for each other, but want to work on their own relationships with their loved ones. I feel betrayed and not sure if I can continue and build trust again. Update 1. My girlfriend told me Friday night that she has been forming an emotional connection and has feelings for a co-worker of hers, who is married and has a 2-month-old child. I was told because they had met and decided that it would be best to tell their significant others, in an effort to strengthen the relationships. Doesn't make any sense. They apparently began confiding in each other about the issues in their relationships months ago, and developed a close bond. I was never communicated about these issues. I am told that it was all emotional and no physical connection was ever made. However, she deleted all of the texts, so I assume the worst. My girlfriend says she is horribly sorry for what she has done and wants to figure out a way to work through it and build back our trust. I honestly don't know if I want to take her back or have her in my life, as all the trust is gone and I can't look at her the same. I'm devastated, alone, and at the lowest point in my life. I was ready for marriage and a family, and this is a complete blindside. Looking for any tips or advice on how to move on and be the best version of myself, or if it's worth trying to fix because I am still very much in love. Edit. Just want to say a huge thank you to everyone. The empathy and compassion I'm shown by all of you is literally keeping me alive. Praying I can get through this and find a girl who will be loving and loyal to me. Update 2. 15 days ago I found out my girlfriend of 6 years has been having an affair with a guy who's 2 years older than me, married, and has a 2-month-old child. My girlfriend and him work together. Apparently it was an emotional affair, but I suspect a physical affair since all the texts have been deleted. Been going on for months. I broke up with her because of this, and I know it's what's best for me. However, I do still stay in some contact with her, in a cordial, friendly way. It's hard for me to completely break her out of my life, as I still have some feelings and we have gone through a ton of growth together. I try keeping myself busy. I work all day, and then I go to the gym to better myself. But I find I'm at my worst when I'm home. I don't want to watch TV or play video games, or do anything her and I would do together. I just find everything I enjoy reminds me of her. The time I'm alone with myself I find the times needing her the most. TLDR. Girlfriend of 6 years had an emotional affair with a co-worker for months. 15 days post D-Day and struggling to find things to do, as everything reminds me of her. Final update. It's been a whole month since I was told by my ex-girlfriend of 6 years that she had been having an affair with a married co-worker of hers. Quick backstory. I was told by my ex-girlfriend that she had been having an emotional affair with her married co-worker who also has a newborn at home. Claimed it was only emotional, but she also deleted all the texts and switched off our phone plan within days. She wanted to reconcile, but I could see through all of her lies and deceit. None of the story made any sense, and I could tell it had been going on for much longer than I had known. And it has been more intimate than I'd probably like to know. I ended up telling some of her co-workers, the wife of the husband, who basically told me she knows and to leave her be, which makes me think she has known much longer than I and some of her family members, before I broke it off. So far, absolutely no regrets in walking away. The first 2 weeks were easily the hardest of my life. I realized I was so sickly codependent on her for my happiness that I almost immediately wanted to attempt reconciliation because I was so afraid of what my life would look like without her. I questioned my self-worth and felt so low because of how awful she had made me feel. But during those 2 weeks of reflecting, I realized I had lost the person I was during this relationship. I wasn't doing things I liked, and always found myself trying to appease her. I realized I was so caught up in the relationship that I never saw my needs weren't being met. It's been difficult, but I'm here a month later and can confidently say I'm getting better every day. I'm going to the gym nearly every day, eating healthy, and back to watching sports and doing what I love to do. I still think about her, especially at night and in the morning when I'm alone. But I realize that she is not the person I thought she was, and she is the sole source of all the pain I felt. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone on here who reached out to me in both my posts and in messages. The support I got from everyone easily kept me in a better headspace, and I wouldn't have known how to react if I didn't have the advice of all you. So thank you all. TLDR. 1 month since I learned of my ex-girlfriend's affair. I've broken it off and have been working on myself, doing better each day.
OP, you sound really healthy and are recovering so well. That is awesome. That is the advantage of being so young, a much faster recovery. In your next relationship though, make sure to address the red flags as soon as you discover them. I hope your ex is suffering. People like her just absolutely disgust me. Post on social media that the two of you broke up and why exactly that the two of you broke up. Name the names. Make sure that everyone knows who they truly are. The affair partner's wife is endorsing her husband breaking up other relationships. Whatever shit show happens in her marriage, well, she deserves it. And now for today's second story. I need advice calling off my engagement after I found out that almost my entire wedding is a cheap version of his ex's wedding. Posted by Reddit user Hoochie Cakes.
TLDR. My fiancé is officially a groomzilla. I've been rolling over to accommodate him, but just found out he wants to replicate the wedding of his ex who dumped him. This doesn't feel genuine. We had a huge fight and I probably hurt him badly enough for him not to be talking. I feel horrible about myself since I went crazy on my fiancé, Ned, and yelled at him repeatedly for about 30 minutes inside our car. I'm not an angry person, nor do I ever raise my voice. I'm sorry and embarrassed and think this relationship isn't good for any of us and we need to break up. He keeps asking me what's the actual matter, but as I'm way too angry and embarrassed to externalize it. We've been planning this wedding for 6 months. We are supposed to get married by the end of this year. He has been encroaching on my side of wedding planning to the point he's almost taken over. We decided that I would organize the ceremony and will absolutely take his wishes into consideration, and he would organize the reception because he has a big family and there are certain traditions that he wants to honor. Ned has been adding more and more stuff to the point that my wishes are kept to a minimum. I wanted a church wedding and a traditional reception. He gets mad at me when I protest some of his choices. To avoid making this too long, this is what's happening. Now the wedding will be a night ceremony with forest-inspired settings and a reception in the same fake woodland. We are supposed to have dignitaries as guests, and he wants me to wear a floral crown, which I love. So he keeps inviting people from the government who keep turning him down. He chose a spot in his mother's backyard and has been buying plants like crazy to make it look like a forest. He also has a landscaper come in every weekend to create a tiny lake, about 40 feet, shallow depth, and had his brother put a PVC fake cabin in the yard, because he wants us to walk from the ceremony through a bridge and get to the PVC cabin for pictures. I think it's going to be very uncomfortable with my dress and everything. It doesn't look bad, it's just that it's not my taste and he's imposing. He gets hostile every time I point out that I don't know where this elf boho Sean Parker inspired wedding is coming from. He wants lots of flowers and wants people to eat like in a bacchanal. Great, but our budget isn't bottomless and I'm paying for most of it because I make 3 times his salary. He got offended when I said the wedding had a medieval hear ye vibe after he wanted to force me to agree to add fake stone huts rented by the local theater troupe. It's an unnecessary expense and honestly, they look atrocious. His groomzilla ways have gotten so out of hand that he got into an argument with his sister, and she said we can't have all we want and said it with so much hate that I felt really uncomfortable. I started to get really anxious and got into his phone and found hundreds of pictures of his ex's wedding. I found her on social media and found her blog and her wedding website plus the article on her wedding done by her planner. I'm sick to my stomach. Lori married someone who's very influential where I live. I had no idea this guy who's notorious because of his career is her husband. The wedding took place at her and her husband's estate, with all the works. They took pictures of the monogram gate, the huge fish ponds, etc. The ceremony took place inside a stone church or chapel with a glass ceiling at night. and it looked like a greenhouse because of foliage. The guests were transported in small boats to a barn-style structure inside a lake for the reception. Local celebrities were invited and local government officials were there. I'm so disgusted. I feel like he's trying to copy-paste her wedding. I have the nagging feeling that our relationship was a huge lie after I found out that he proposed as soon as he found out that she got married. Yes, she wore a flower crown. I'm now afraid that he may have chosen me because I'm successful. I didn't know much about his relationship with her, except that he claimed she was a psycho. I'm just finding out that she's the one who ended the relationship, sent him horrible messages that I found and called him a nobody, a gold digger and a mental abuser. He even tried to engage some of her wedding vendors, but I'm sure their prices are sky high. I've been really angry because of this but can't tell him that I went through his phone. We had an incident in which he was enthusiastically planning our vows and I yelled at him. I lost my cool and by the time I came to my senses, I realized I'd been ranting for more than 20 minutes. He was livid and teary-eyed, turned the car around and went to bed without eating. He's kind of shutting down. I'm having serious doubt about this relationship and I feel remorseful for hurting him. I apologize, but he's very quiet. I've been abused before and now I'm worried that he's hiding something. I would like to approach this in a sensible way without damaging or humiliating him should his motives be that he has low self-esteem or whatever. But I can't marry someone who lied to me, planned a wedding with someone else in mind and hasn't been straightforward. I'm angry and embarrassed because I'm sure his family knows. Please, I need lots of encouragement right now and some advice breaking up without letting my emotions get out of control again. I love him but feel like this even destroyed my libido.
Alright, OP. Here's the thing. All of the things that you described, everything about him, his ex, his plans for the reception, etc., 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 those are all secondary to the main issue, which is the two of you are not certain about your relationship. A wedding does not make anything better. A wedding does not fix any issues that exist between two people. So you should not step up to the altar in front of him, his friends and family, your friends and family, and make covenants with him unless you can tell him straight to his face, I love you, I always will, I have your back in whatever decision that you make, I trust you, and we're in this together. Alright, maybe not in those exact words, but you get my point, OP. Whatever you choose to do, good luck. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.